The principle of two weaknesses is a very important strategic concept that all chess players should know. What is the principle of two weaknesses? It basically means that when you have already created one weakness on one side of the board, that is not enough to win you the game. You will have to create play on another side of the board as well and create weakness there. Then you can win the game because opponent will be tied down to one point where he is defending. Then it will be difficult for the pieces to shift to the other side. So we are going to learn the principle of two weaknesses from Hans Niemann's latest game. He won this tournament in Zagreb. As you can see here, Hans Niemann has targeted this weak pawn on d5. It's a weakness. So before we move on, what is a weakness? A weakness is anything that you can target, usually a backward pawn or an isolated pawn. If you see, white's pawn is also a weakness, but black is in no position to attack it. So it's not really a weakness. But black's pawn is not able to move forward. It is attacked two times, it's defended two times. So this is a weakness. White is targeting the forces on this square, this pawn. So this is one weakness. Now, before we start play on another side, you have to fix this weakness so that it doesn't move forward. Hans Niemann actually plays brilliant chess, not computer chess, like chess that we can understand logically, like pretty very human chess, like beautiful chess. So let me show you what he did. He played Queen f5. You might think, isn't that allowing d4? But if d4 happens, then the pawn is anyway weak. So takes, and this pawn is weak. You can target from here, and the queen will also jump in. So that is not something the opponent wanted, Robert Selchik. So in the game, opponent played rook e8. Now comes another very nice move by Hans Niemann. He plays rook d2. Okay, that's a normal move. I thought he was going to play the nice move. The nice move comes next. Rook d2, preparing to double the rooks. You of course need your forces to attack this pawn. Again, d4 will anyway be leading to a weakness on the d4 square, the pawn. Now rook d8. Here d4 is a threat because if you take, rook will take and rook will take and rook will take, and the weakness has vanished. So that is a problem. So we have to deal with that. Here comes this nice move, f4. Not even rook d1. He says, I don't even need rook d1. He plays f4. The idea being, if d4, if opponent plays d4, then we take on e5 first. We take on e5. If they take on c3, we can play rook d6. That's a killer move. Attacking the queen, and now f6 will fall. This pawn is anyway not a problem. You can pick it up anytime. So that is the idea behind f4. And now if pawn takes, after f4, if pawn takes, then it's very nice for white. White will just take back with the pawn, and the weakness is still there. So basically, what Hans Niemann is doing is he is forcing black to push the e pawn forward because there is a threat of takes, right? So which means black has to push. Black push the pawn. Now you see this pawn is completely weak. It has become a backward pawn. So it is attacked two times. It cannot move forward. And Hans Niemann buries it with rook d4, a very good move. This is very important. Blockade the weakness. Don't let the pawn go forward. Now, once you play rook d1, black's pieces are all tied down to this pawn. Cannot move. King f7, queen check, king moves. And now, before even rook d1, you can of course play rook d1 and wait, but he doesn't want to allow the queen to become active. So he stays there. Let's say you play rook d1 and then black makes some normal move. There we have to understand this alone is not going to win us the game because you're attacking it three times, he's defending it three times, and we cannot make progress there. So one weakness is not enough. So where do we play next? We create weakness here. We create another weakness on the king side, and Hans Niemann plays that with g4, beautifully showing the idea of the principle of the two weaknesses. Now, now comes rook d1 because the queen moved, rook d1, and here comes e3. That pawn is not really a problem. and queen f5. d5 and e3 are both weak. So if queen takes queen, pawn takes back, that pawn will easily get picked up with no problem. d5 is also weak. So black wouldn't want to exchange. So queen f5 is a very nice move. Queen went back, and now comes rook e1. So both the pawns are blockaded and attacked. Opponent plays a5, and here Hans Niemann plays g5, creating a weakness on this side. Where is that weakness? He's putting pressure on f6. So basically, king becomes weak. You will have entry points here. So it doesn't have to be a weakness, exact weakness on the other side. You have to create play on the other side so that black forces have to come there. But black forces are stuck here, defending d5. So it's difficult for black to reroute the pieces to that side. So by the time black does that, we will create problems here. So that is the principle of two weaknesses. Now after g5, pawn takes b4 was played. If pawn takes back, we will just take back. And now pawn will get to g6. Let's say after pawn takes, you will have a pawn on g6, and that'll be a nice position. You can even play pawn takes f6. You can play rook h4 also. It's a very nice position. Even queen h3. So this is a very nice position. Can we play g6? G6 also looks nice. Yeah, G6 also keeps the advantage because now we are trying to get in with our queen. So in the game, after after G5, uh, Robert played A takes B4. Now Hans takes on H6. Robert takes on C3, but he's allowing H7. So this is where tactically we have to be really good, because strategically making good play and slowly building advantage is good. But then if you throw it all away when tactical alertness comes into the picture, then it's a problem. So you have to be tactically alert as well. Tactically, you would be very strong so that we can convert the advantage we created to a win. And that's what Hans does here. Here, Hans plays h7. So what is black planning? h8 is a threat. If king f7, there's queen h5, right? His plan is after king f7, queen h5, Robert plays g6. He's saying you can't promote. If you promote, I'll take here. So basically, you lose the pawn for free. Yes, you'll have a queen, but I take your old queen. So that's the idea of defending like this. But Hans Niemann had tactically seen the next move. He plays the OG move, promotion to a knight. The point being, if pawn takes one is not possible, it's a check. And if rook takes knight, we basically win an exchange. So that pawn got Niemann a very good position, a material up position. King g7 was played, and now just knight takes g6. So it's a piece up for Hans Niemann. Queen takes c5. So black still has three pass pawns, although they are all weak and blocked. But rook is hanging. So what do we do? Knight h4, another nice move. Giving up a full rook, but you can't take the rook because queen g6 check. Wait, where is the mate? Knight f5 check. We start with knight. Yeah, knight f5 just wins a queen, and it's a simple win. So that's why rook is not really hanging. King went to g8, and now comes knight f5, defending the rook and threatening queen g6. Pawn c2, threatening to promote. But then comes queen g6, king h8, queen takes pawn, king moves, queen g6, king to f8. Because if king had gone to h8, what was our plan actually? Queen f6, king g8, and queen e6. How are we going to win this though? I believe we can just play rook c1 as well, but there has to be better moves. So queen h6, king g8, queen e6, king h8. Where's the win? We need one of the rooks to come into the game. So we can't win it here. It is a piece up, so we just play rook c1. So everything is under guard. The rook is defended, the knight is defended, the queen stopping this pawn, and this pawn is stopped. So piece up, so it should be easy to win. So queen g6, king went to f8, and now knight h6, threatening queen g8, and when king moves, rook takes pawn. So it's a difficult situation. Again, you can't take the wait. What happens if you take the rook? Yeah, again queen check, king e7, knight f5, King has to move. Wait, king has to move to f6, and then we save our queen and pick up the queen because our queen is also hanging. So at the end, tactics came into the picture. But to get to that winning position, here opponent resigned. To get to that winning position, Hans Niemann had to show very good strategic ideas, and specifically the principle of two weaknesses. So again, if you go back to that position, because it's important to understand it thoroughly, if you go back, sorry, not here, this position, we have fixed the weakness, almost fixed the weakness on d5, takes, queen f5, rook e8, rook d2, and f4. That's a very nice play. E4. So this weakness is set. And after rook d4, that weakness is just stuck. So we have one weakness. Now create another weakness on the other side. Queen side, it's blocked. So we can't do much here. So that is why Hans plays g4, g5 and created play on the king side. And he was able to convert the game tactically.